Gandhi is a film that I always meant to watch, but the length really put me off. It's over 3 hours, but I also knew it could be quite educational because my knowledge of Gandhi is quite limited. And I'm watching every John Ratzenberger film, so I decided now is the perfect time to watch it. It was released in 1982. It's directed by Richard Attenborough, written by John Briley, and we have a solid cast, including, of course, Ben Kingsley as Gandhi. And I have to say, I learned a lot. It's a very immersive film. It was very easy to feel like I was there, like I was following this journey. It is a lot, though. And it's basically depicting the life of Gandhi, the impact he had, the things he went through. As I mentioned at the beginning, my knowledge of Gandhi is pretty basic. I don't have the most detailed knowledge of Gandhi's life. So I can't comment on whether this is really accurate or not. So if anybody has any thoughts on that, I'd be very keen to hear what you think. But for me, I learned a lot, and I feel like it's not the kind of film you can just watch once and fully absorb. There's a lot going on. There are a lot of characters involved, and again, I don't know how many of these characters are real people or if any of them were created to help fictionalize to an extent the biographical drama, but it was certainly an experience. If you're unaware of Gandhi's life, I guess IMDb explains it very succinctly. Very basically, of course, but IMDb says that the film is the life of the lawyer who became the famed leader of the Indian revolts against the British rule through his philosophy of non-violent protest. And that is a very basic summary, but I think it explains it quite well. And I now feel more informed about Gandhi's life and about his approaches. But as I said, I didn't take away everything from this. I feel like I'd have to watch it a few times to really bulk out my knowledge on Gandhi. I think there are a lot of good takeaways, but I think it would require a few watches to fully recall absolutely everything because it is a very intense experience. That's not to say it's very quick. There are times when things are a little slower, and that allows the viewer the time to really digest what is happening. So as a biographical drama, I think it's pretty effective, but it is a very intense experience, and I didn't watch it in one sitting. I had to pause it and come back to it. I watched it in the same day, but not in the same sitting. And I feel like I'm a lot more informed. If anybody has any thoughts about how accurate it is, I would be very keen to hear those thoughts. So I do take everything with a tiny pinch of salt, but I've not heard anything that suggests it's not accurate. And I think Kingsley's performance was brilliant and very effective and very convincing. And as I said, it felt like a very immersive experience. It was very easy to feel like I was on this journey with Gandhi and the other characters. And I rather enjoyed that part of it a lot. That really helped to make the length feel less lengthy. Because if you feel like you're there, if you feel like you're in the film, it definitely feels like time moves a bit more quickly. But as I said, I didn't watch it in one straight sitting, nevertheless. And the technical aspects are all very good. It's very well filmed, very well lit. A lot of it is set outdoors, and we have a lot of really lovely outdoor scenes. It is filmed, according to IMDb, it is filmed in a few different places. Actually, it's filmed in India, but we also have some indoor scenes filmed in Surrey, which is, of course, in England, the courtroom scene specifically. And in general, I have no complaints about this. I did worry about the length, and I do think maybe slightly it's longer than it needs to be, but there wasn't really anything about this that felt like padding. I feel like Gandhi had such an interesting story that it needed this length to be told. And also, I really respect it for not splitting it into two parts. I feel like if this were released today, just with cinema trends now, it would absolutely have been released in two parts to bring in the money twice. But they released it once. It is definitely a very heavy film, but I think it's worth watching. It is a lot to take in, particularly if, like me, you're not that knowledgeable about the specifics of Gandhi's life. But I do now feel more knowledgeable, and that's what I wanted going into it. I wanted an education and also entertainment, and there are definitely some bits that are very, very moving, very emotional, very, very well done. I got a lot out of this. I think I'd get even more out of it with a second viewing. I'm not rushing to watch it again because it is a lot, but maybe in the future I will revisit it. Also worth mentioning, this got a lot of Oscars. It got a lot of awards, and at the 55th Academy Awards, it won Best Picture. Attenborough got Best Director, Kingsley got Best Actor. We also had Best Writing, Best Cinematography, Best Art Direction, Set Design, Best Costume Design, Best Film Editing. It was also nominated for Best Makeup, Best Music Original Score, and Best Sound, and it won many, many other awards as well. And I completely agree. I think it's a very solid film. I think it feels very comprehensive with some great performances, and ultimately, while I was nervous about the length, I came away from the film feeling really satisfied with the experience. Also, thumbs up to John Ratzenberger being in it, which was nice. Not a tremendous amount, but enough that I was happy. Ultimately, Gandhi is an intense experience, but a really valuable one, and I'm very happy to recommend it.